Hello, Mark Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining me. Today, my guest is Juan Estrada from Hastings, Nebraska. Welcome, Juan. How are you doing today?
I am good, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's going to be a beautiful day. I mean, this weather gets spring fever here very, very quickly.
Yes,
So
sir.
Juan, we haven't known each other very long. We actually met at the hot tub at the Y, maybe a month or so ago, and had a great
Yes, sir.
conversation there. And so Juan, are you from Hastings originally?
No, so originally I am from Mexico. I'm Terrain Nuevo Leon. So my parents brought me over when I was about 6 years old. Me and my brother, he was a little under three. And so we just kind of been hanging out in Hastings ever since.
Okay. So how did you, I mean, what was the journey to get to Hastings?
I mean, the journey was pretty simple. We went on a bus, kind of drove down, and uh, that was about it.
So was there a reason why you were moving from Mexico to the United States or Hastings at the time?
Well, yeah, back then, it was hard to find jobs in Mexico, especially to support a family. So my parents decided to try it out in the United States, and see what happens. Try to provide that better life for us.
Right. That had to be, I mean, were you old enough was it scary? I mean, I would think it'd been kind of scary for you and your parents. Or do you remember something being scared? Or what did you think when your parents said you were going to move to the United States?
Well, I didn't think much of it. I was 6 years old. I just kind of went with the flow.
Uh-huh.
But when I first got here in first grade, you're brand new. You don't know the language. It's it's scary, because you don't know anybody. You're not
Yeah.
around your family. Everybody's miles and miles away. And, I do remember, I think, hiding under the desks just because I was
Really?
afraid. I was scared. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
understand
I do
that.
remember that.
Has to be very scared. I mean, everything's new. Like you say, don't know anybody. And
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
so did you come to Hastings right away then?
Yeah. Yeah.
You did.
My dad was working already up here.
Okay.
He got himself established. He had an apartment, and then he went down south for us.
Okay. Very cool. So do you still have family in Mexico?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of family. I have one aunt who lives up here, another aunt who lives in Wisconsin, and that's about it. Everybody else is still
Okay.
down there in Mexico and
Okay.
Texas,
I
but
mean,
that's a whole
in
different
Texas.
deal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Texas.
So what's going on down there? Does that kind of it probably hits differently for what's going on down there? Your perspective is that different than what we are seeing on the news, or what? I mean, if
I,
you
I
want to
don't
go
even
there,
know. I don't
okay.
even know, Mark. I haven't been there so long, and whatever's on the news, I mean, I listen to it, and that's about it. That's all I can do right now.
I feel for both sides. I know that the people
Yeah,
wanting to better themselves, and the people. It's too bad it has to be going on that way. That is very very true.
yeah. So,
So what do you do in Hastings now? Oh, go ahead.
well, that's one of the things that a lot of people think that, oh, Mexicans that are illegal get all these benefits and tax breaks and all that stuff, and that's really where we get misunderstood. We don't even get to claim
Okay,
taxes. If you're lucky to even get a job, you're paying into the taxes, but you never see that at the end of the year like everybody else does. Uh, if you're not
interesting.
legal, you're not getting those benefits that the Americans get, that the unemployment
Right,
get. Like,
right.
if you're illegal, you're not getting employment, and that's what kind of hurts when people talk about illegals like that. Oh, they get all the benefits. They really don't. And
Okay.
I wish more people would realize that it's a lot harder for illegals and people who are undocumented to live in the
Yeah.
United States because of that.
I never knew all that, and yeah, you just hear all the stuff that they're going to all, it maybe you're here to tell that side of the story to the world, and so I mean it's because we do see only one side of it, definitely one side of it, and there's always two sides to
Yeah,
every story, And
Yep,
well, you were telling me the other day in the hot tub, you still deal with some of the stuff to this day for coming across, don't you? You said something about I can't remember what you said exactly, but you were still dealing with it. Um, you and your wife, or you said you weren't married because of things going on. You couldn't use. Oh, I know what it was. You couldn't go on the plane because you'd won the prize at Verizon.
that's
And,
correct, Mark. That's correct. So, for president, so in my company, they have this thing called President's Club. You have to be, so they have three conferences, A, B, and C.
right.
Depending on how big your store is, that's what conference you're put in. And we are a top volume store, so we are in the top conference, and so we're competing against the top people in our company, and you have to be top 10 or top 9, one of them two.
Okay.
So you have to have qualifying the volume, which is boxes, phones, watches, tablets,
Okay.
internet, all of that,
Uh huh.
protection, accessories. So they have these categories that you have to have a certain percentage. And if you can hit that and maintain it through September, you and if you make it to the top 9, we'll say top 9, you automatically win. And
Okay. Awesome.
you can still be in a drawing. Though if you qualify, if you have the right qualifying stats, but did not make it into the top 10, they will do a drawing on those people to see, who gets to go.
Awesome.
And this year they went to Mexico, Riversdale, uh,
Okay. Okay.
Riversdale, something like that.
Uh huh.
And because of my immigration status, it would cost me about 1,000 some dollars before passports, Justin fees, immigration fees, lawyer fees to even apply for this permit,
Wow.
a travel permit. So it was
Okay.
going to cost me more than what they were going to pay me out for the trip. Uh,
Wow.
so so unfortunately, I did not get to go, which
That's too bad.
it does, it hurts a little bit. It still feels like, I told my boss this. It felt
Uh
like,
huh.
back in the day, being told, you can't go to college because there's no financial assistance for you. You can't get a driver's license because, well, you're illegal. You don't really exist. You don't belong here. So, growing up, being told that, it just kind of, it made me feel like, well, what's the point of trying? What's the point
I
of,
can understand that feeling
yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
So it, it hurt. It hurt. And it's just, it sucks because I did have another coworker of mine
Mm-hmm.
who made it in there as well. And she got to go, why? Because she's white. She's American. So
And in
it,
this country, it should be the last country it's that way. We tout
you
ourselves
would,
being the other way, and
yeah, you'd think so, but, it kind of hurt, and it's just something that I had to
definitely
accept.
understand
And,
that. I mean, that
so I,
just
yeah,
so. I mean, gosh, all the stuff that you don't know. I mean, you don't hear that from the news. You don't hear that at all.
no.
That side of it. And so, would you're considered still illegal then, or are you? How do you? If I may ask, what? How is it
Yeah,
tough to stay
it's
in Nebraska or in haste? I mean, do does the federal government harass you or what? I mean, I don't know on that.
no, they don't harass you. So I'm what they call I am on what they call the DACA program,
Okay,
which is something that it was a while back, honestly, probably about 10 years ago, that
okay,
almost 10 years ago, that I was able to apply for this. And
okay,
so the requirements were, that you were a child before the age of 16, that you came over to the United States with your parents,
okay,
and that you could apply for this type of permit.
okay.
So it's like a work permit. That's the best way to describe it. It's just called DACA. As of right now, there's no path to citizenship. There's no path to residency
Really?
with that. It's just DACA. That's what it is. That's
So
all it is. And yeah, yeah, I
that's so
know, I
wrong.
know.
I mean, that is
Yeah,
so wrong. I mean,
it's
I don't think most people know that either. Why wouldn't they have a path to citizenship? just give you this and then that's it. I mean,
That's it.
that's got to be frustrating for you too. So I would think,
Sometimes it feels like just having a leash on a person.
yeah,
You can't do anything. We keep track of you. You have to pay your taxes. You have to pay your what
that
is it
sounds like a
called?
government.
Your renewal. Yeah, your renewal fee. So every 2 years, I have to pay $500 to the government plus
Really?
whoever I could find to do the paperwork. So it just feels like another way to keep getting money from you.
Yeah, almost
Every
kind
two
of
years, I just have
extortion.
to renew. Yep.
Yeah, just
Yep.
so if you wouldn't pay that $500, would they send you back, or do you know?
I don't
I
want to
probably don't
find
want to find
out.
out. I don't blame you.
So I don't think they would send you back automatically. It's you just can't renew. And if you can't renew,
Wow.
I can't work.
Oh, so they really got you there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah, if I don't pay that fee, if I don't renew my paperwork, I just don't get to work, which
this is so
I have a
interesting.
family to provide for. Yep, yep. So
Wow.
yeah,
And you have three kids? Is that what, if I remember right?
that's correct, Mark. I got
Okay.
three little ones. My oldest will be 10 in March 5th. And then my second one will be 8 in July. And then my little man just turned 4 in November.
Awesome. That is so cool. So there's a lot of energy at your house.
Yeah, yeah, there is a lot of
So,
energy.
so Juan, if they gave you, would you want it? Would you go towards citizenship, or would you, I mean, was
Oh, absolutely,
okay?
absolutely. Just having that ability to travel back to my home country and visit them, see some family that I haven't seen. So, my grandma right now, she's very old.
Okay.
She's getting to the point where she doesn't remember people. Um, you know, it, I may not see her before she passes away,
Yeah,
and that's something that just kind of sucks.
that really sucks. I mean, because yeah, it's all about family. It's always about family,
It's
especially
always about family.
yeah. I mean, that just so. Would there be a path to be able to go see her, or would they not let you back in the country, or what? Maybe you don't know that either for sure.
So there's that deal where, yeah, if I paid $1,000, I can go see their. It, that's a lot of money right now.
That is a lot
You
of
know,
money.
yeah. Plus, it's money. Plus, it's time that I have to leave from work, so that I'm not making any money to support the family. It's just kind of a double-edged sword right there. It sucks.
Kind of a catch 22. You can't either.
Yes,
You
sir.
can't go either way. You're
Yes,
copped.
sir.
And
Yep.
okay, so in the best of worlds, in your world coming up, I pray that this is the world you're going to have, and you will. So money was no object. What would you do then? What would be your dream?
Ooh. I mean, if money was no object, um, if money was no object, just be there for my family all the time. Not have to worry
Cool.
about, like you said, I don't have to worry about working. Just enjoy that time with the family and not feel that pressure,
Yeah.
not feel that responsibility on the shoulders.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that because you got to be under a lot of pressure. Um, because I know you said you just bought a house and everything, and just I think you're leveling up. You're going through stuff to. I can relate with not to the point where you're at, but sometimes you just like wonder. It's like God enough, It's just like how much is enough, and
Much is enough, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so when we bought the house, it was a big decision. We went from a two-bedroom to a four-bedroom. We pretty much tripled our monthly. Before
Oh,
we were paying 550 or from
right,
rent.
right.
It was a family deal, and it was just a two-bedroom house,
Sure.
and so we had to make that decision to get something bigger. So right now we have a four-bedroom house. Kids have their own room.
Very cool.
That's a good feeling to give them that space.
Yes. No. Yeah, and you just and that the faith that you had going forward that shows a lot of faith. I mean, because sometimes it sometimes it is well, like we talked before, and I can relate. It's scary, you have the faith that it's going to all work out, but you still in the back of your mind is like, is it going to? And
Is it
I
going to? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I can
So,
very, very much. So with your kids. So when you were that age, what was your dream when you grew up? When you were down in Mexico or before you moved, what was your dreams or dreams?
I mean, I can't even remember when I was in Mexico, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of a blur, you know. And they say sometimes your mind blocks out stuff when it
Yeah,
was a trauma, and
I can understand that.
so I can kind of see how my brain is just like, yep, I'm not gonna remember that time. Um,
I
but
see that.
growing up, I thought it'd be cool to be a police officer.
Cool.
Excuse me. A police officer was something that I wanted
Very
to
awesome.
have that goal, to have that dream. Um, I like helping people. I still enjoy helping people. I'm in
Yep.
the field of customer service. So I do enjoy helping people. Then you
Yep.
grow up and realize, well, police officers don't make that much,
No, they don't,
and
which
they're
is so
risking their
wrong
lives
for very little. Yeah,
for a couple dollars, and that's sad.
it
That's sad to
is.
see. That's sad that that they make that
Yeah.
little when their lives are other lives.
Yeah, it just shows how messed up our society is. We pay, these performers and all these sports, and these millions and millions or billions, and then people that like teachers, police officers, how little they get
Teachers,
paid.
yep, yep.
Yeah, and it's just like it's completely backwards, and like a lot of things in our society.
Well, Mark, it's like they said back in the gladiator times, you know, the Roman empires, all that stuff. What did they use to distract people? Big arenas, gladiators, spectator
Yep,
sports. It's a way to calm the masses down.
it is
That's why we have it. That's why they do it. People sit
very,
in
very
front of the
much.
TV. I don't know. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did not.
You did not. So not so much for the game, but there was a few of those commercials that
I hear you
there
on
was
that. The commercials can be pretty awesome. Yeah.
one commercial that kind of sticks out to my mind right now, and
Okay.
it said, I think it was about Hulu or a TV provider or something like that, and it had
Right.
a
Right.
bunch of people in potato suits, all in little rows, and it says, "We raise the best couch potatoes,"
Mm,
and that just kind of hit me
true.
like, damn, that's
Yeah,
what
I
we're
hear
doing
you.
right now. We're
We
just
are.
sitting down watching TV, just like
Yep.
they're saying in that commercial, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, to be honest. It's like, well,
Yep. I hear
we
you.
have to step up,
Yeah, and
so
we do. And there's so many people. Well, history repeats itself, definitely. And they are actually telling us what they're doing to us, but we're just so into
blocked,
into so
yeah.
many distractions, that we don't
Distractions,
realize
yeah.
what they're doing to us right now. And I believe my calling, I believe your calling too, is to, you know, as many people are receptive, waken the masses, show them that. For one thing, that's one thing why I did Dreamcatcher, because so many people are, they're existing, they aren't living their life,
Existing.
they were
Absolutely.
indoctrinated, and I'm for education, but I was indoctrinated, to do the school, get a job, retire, and not really question anything. And most people don't question.
Right.
So, and it's just
Nope.
like we need to get people to question. They don't want people to, question, but we all,
Yeah.
and I believe that's why you like to help people, because I don't know if you're going to start a business or that you're going. I have just a vibe from you that you want to start some kind of business helping people. Do you have something like that in mind?
No, I don't have something like that. That would be kind of cool. I just don't know the kind of business type of deal that I would go into. So being in customer service, I get to help people every day. whether it's
Hmm.
Facebook problems, Gmail problems.
Right, right, which is great.
It's just we're just there, and when I a funny part when this was I shouldn't say a couple years back, but probably about a year and a half or so. I went to school to eat with my son, and he was telling his
Okay,
friends what I do for work, and he goes,
right.
"Yeah," he goes, "My dad helps." He goes, "He fixes people's problems, and he offers the good deals, and if they like it, they take it, and then his boxes go up." So he pretty much explained what I do in the easiest, shortest
leave,
term. Like,
leave it
man,
to leave it to a kid.
leave it to a kid. My
Yep,
7-year-old,
yep,
8-year-old is picking up what we're supposed to do at work. Yes, our job is to sell, but I'm also there to fix problems. And at the end of it, yeah, I'm going to offer you a great deal on that phone. And if you like it, you're going to say yes.
sure,
And if you don't, to us, no means next opportunity. It doesn't mean the end of the world. It doesn't mean, oh man, I'm not gonna make it. It just
exactly.
means, there's if you don't want the great deal, that's totally fine. I understand. It won't hurt my feelings. Someone else will. If the deal's good, they're gonna take it.
Okay, very very cool. I like the way you put that. That's very good. So I'm not saying this is going to happen, but say if Verizon said you were going to be laid off, and what would you do? I mean, what would be the go to?
Oh, that's
Something
with
a
the
lot of
sales
times we don't want to think
experience,
about. I hear you. The
we don't want to think about it with this. I want to say with the sales experience and accomplishments that I've done in the company, I would look for another sales job.
would you?
And,
Okay,
you
okay,
know, I I think I can, I know I'm a good salesman. I have the
yep,
evidence to prove it.
you do.
So I've been there for 3 years. In my first year, I started selling in like last week of April, and from April to December, I hit about 601 boxes,
Wow.
which is a lot.
Right.
And there was a person there working for 12 months, and he only had 633 boxes. So that was that first year. Uh, and then my second year, I did make it to the High Achievers Club. So that's where you
Cool.
make over 900 boxes for the whole year. And I was the only one from our store to
Wow.
do it. So out of the company, out of 250 people, I think only 35, 38, 38 of us made it into the High Achievers Club. So it's not as easy as you think. You got to be selling like at least 75 boxes every month.
Wow.
And I did it my first full year. And then this past year, that's when I made it into the President's Club. So I was in the top 10. Uh, you know, in our company, we have to sell not only just phones, we have to sell internet. We sell Verizon cards, which is a Visa card. And,
Okay.
uh, and last year, I sold the most cards in the company, not just in our store, but the whole company.
Nice. Wow. Really
Uh,
good.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. I got a little award for it. If you'd like, I could kind of show you the little
Cool.
trophy
I mean,
set I
that'd be
have over
awesome.
there. Um,
Very awesome.
and then huh, okay, my earbuds were just getting higher and higher on volume. Um, and so actually, let me show you real quick, okay? If uh,
Okay.
if you
Very
have the
cool.
time, can I turn the camera around? Oh, okay. So I don't get to flip the camera. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Can you see those?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yes. Definitely.
so
Nice.
that one is for the high achiever in 2022, and that one is for the most Verizon Visa cards in 2023.
Cool.
Yeah, so our store sold 550 cards, and of those 550, I did 250 of them.
That is amazing. So, I mean, would
Yeah.
you want to ever sell your own product? I mean, I know you said you weren't really thinking about it, but would you want to have your own product that you've always dreamt about doing that you'd sell, I mean, to the world, a product that you that you want have come up with, or your family came up with?
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Sometimes I just feel like sometimes I get lazy and just, I'm like, I think about, well, what could I sell? What could I do? And that's where I just kind of fall back on that. We'll call it the lazy list, the procrastinator part of it. And,
Well, sometimes you get your best thoughts when you're being lazy. I know I do. When I'm down, kind of just chilling, that's when I get my best ideas. And
right, right.
but no, I could definitely see you doing that. So, would you ever want to
Sure.
do your own podcast or be a speaker? Tell I could see you being. If you have to. You're in sales. You got to be a great speaker.
I'd like to think so. Yeah, that would be kind of cool starting a podcast and talking to people and,
I could see you definitely doing it.
just, with the kids being young, it's, it's not impossible. It's just hard to want to push further out because that's time away from home or time away from the kids.
I can very much
You
understand
know,
that.
like right now, today is my day off, and I got my little one running upstairs with mama. I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm
Uh
about to
huh.
go do a little podcast. I can't have you running around." Um,
Uh huh.
y- so it's once I'm done with this podcast, I'm gonna go hang out with him for a little bit, and then later on, I got a blood
Cool.
drive going on about 12:30.
Okay,
You
so
know,
a blood drive. I mean, who do you
like
help
donate
with
blood.
that?
No, no, I
Oh,
just
you
go
do
donate
make
blood.
donate blood.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
So part of the requirement for the leadership or President's Club is you have to have 10 leadership points. So these leadership points is community service, reading books, could be as simple
Cool.
as cleaning a park, donating
Nice.
blood counts. I think you could do that like twice a year. Uh, so so I've never donated blood before I started working at this job, and then they're like, yeah, you can do that as a leadership point. And so
Awesome.
if you do 5 leadership points before May 15th or before the end of May, one of those two, you get you're eligible for a small raise. And then if you get 10 leadership points, then you qualify for P Club. So you have to have 10 to even
Oh,
try to
to
make it into the P Club. Yep.
okay. I mean, this is all through Verizon with the leadership.
So technically, we're an indirect company. So we
Okay.
work
Okay.
for Verizon, but we're called Wireless World.
Wireless World. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think that's great to doing the leadership. I think that's very good. So
Yeah,
what are the? I mean, have you helped clean parks or what are some other things in Hastings or done some other
yeah.
leadership
We
things?
try, we try to do that. Last year we did like 2 or 3 parks. We just went out to random parks and walked through and pick up some trash. Just a little
Nice.
community service to get us involved with the local community. Sometimes we'll do some business after hours where, we'll go out to some of these businesses that are promoting their business and we try to mingle with the people and say, hey, we're from Verizon. I should be taking cards there and just start handing them out, and say, hey, if you need a new phone,
Uh huh.
uh, here's my card, sir.
Okay. Awesome. So okay, going back. So if somebody coming from Mexico, young adult, what would you tell them to how to get started? I mean, or any young person getting started, what would you tell them? In today's world.
I mean, you got to learn English. And I hate, it sounds weird saying that, yeah, you got to learn English. When people tell me, hey, we're in America, you got to speak English, when they hear me speaking Spanish, it's like, well, that's the reason why I got hired is because I speak Spanish, because we do
Yep.
have a lot of bilingual people. So,
Yes.
uh, you know, to make it, to have a chance at anything, you have to know both languages. You can't just say,
I
well,
would
I only speak Spanish.
agree.
Um, you know, I I've met a lot of young guys who, they still work at the hog farms that I used to work at. And that's because their English is not that great. They just need people to work. And, they'll have someone who just points and goes, do this, do that, do this, and they just do it. So
Mhm.
anybody coming over from Mexico, from China, from
Right. Right.
anywhere that you're coming to the United States, you know, to have a chance at anything, you got to learn the language to be able to play ball. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I could, yeah, you do. And I wish, and I just shouldn't say wish. I need to learn more Spanish because Spanish is, well, Spanish is spoken so many places around the world, or dialects kind of from it too. And
Yeah, absolutely.
so I think that would be when I got out of college, I was working down in Dallas at restaurants, and I was definitely learning a little Spanish there and they were definitely helping me, and
Right, right.
which was a nice way. Actually, it was really kind of a cool way to learn, Spanish because
Sure.
they were being really cool. But so you said you worked at a hog farm. What did you do there?
So, Mark, I did a little bit of everything. I was a handyman pretty much. I do basic electrical work.
Okay,
You know, wiring motors, changing out fan motors, just installing lights here and there. I used to drive the semis. I,
okay, wow.
I did a lot, the pretty much the heavy machinery like payloaders, semis.
Did you like doing that?
I did enjoy the driving part of it. Oh yes,
Okay.
driving. There's something about driving into, jumping into a semi cab and turning on that big engine and hear that, it's a
That
trip.
You're sounding like my sister now. That's what she does, and that's what she's done for a lot of years. That's exactly what she says. So
Yeah, it's because it is, you're in charge of a very, very big equipment.
yeah,
Um, it's it's a powerful engine, it could take someone's life just in a flash real quick.
could. Yeah, definitely
Sh-
could. So would you ever want to go back to going like over the road trucking?
well, I didn't even do over the road trucking.
Didn't think would you
It
want to
was
do?
just on the farm. Yeah, it was
Okay,
just on the farm.
okay,
I've heard from a lot of my guests that are truck drivers. He said, truck driving isn't the same as what it used to be. The government has definitely put a lot of
yeah.
restrictions on
My
this
sister
and that, and
agreed.
they're like, it's no longer fun. It's no longer what it used to be. So that kind of puts me like, maybe I shouldn't go into that.
Yeah. Well, the government's got to keep track of us. They got to keep kind of like we started the podcast. They got to keep track of us.
They
Keep
gotta
their
keep
thumb on
track
all
of
of
us,
us. So it's too bad we don't do the same on them for them. Yeah,
right? Right. It's
it
just
seems to be good to do that for us, but when we turns around, they basically aren't accountable to anybody. So yeah, I don't know where
it's
that's going
just
to
kind
end.
of yeah, it's kind of terrible. It just feels like murder what they do to us sometimes. With the
Yeah,
taxation and they're taking taxes on this, taking taxes on that. I mean, they're gonna
everything.
tax your funeral too. It's just
Yep.
ridiculous what they can get away with, and all in the name of the government, I guess. All in the
Yeah.
name of
Yeah, and they aren't held accountable to how they spend it.
no,
They what was
no,
it, the Pentagon? I don't know how many billions they lost, and it's just like if we did that, we'd be in jail. And why aren't those people
right.
held accountable? Is beyond me. It's just like for this country to go forward, we got to get. They have to become more accountable. We have to know where that money's going. So,
Absolutely. When you hear about some of these, like some of those houses branches donating millions, billions to overseas, to this and
yep,
that, it's like, instead of trying to clean up the streets, clean up your house first.
amen.
Um, I'm not even from this country, and it just kind of makes me sick how they treat people here. We
Mhm.
see a lot of veterans who are not taken
It's
care
terrible.
of,
Yes, it's shameful.
and it is shameful. They fought for this country. Some of them died for this country, and they get treated like they're nobodies. They get just put to the sides, and
They do.
and that's just terrible to see.
It
Yeah,
once again says a lot about our country. It just with we're so in with the sports and all the stuff and the stuff. The pay how we pay people and who gets paid.
who gets
And
paid what?
how we
Yeah,
treat people because
yep,
kind of like the saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything, and we're definitely showing that. We
absolutely,
and it's no wonder that people look at the United States and I that's one thing with this podcast has been very interesting getting a view from the rest of the world back and
rest of the world. Yeah.
very, very interesting. It's for sure. So, but
Hi, Bubby. No, 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 I'm not done. Okay, I'll
Can
be
I
there
see him?
soon.
I want to meet him.
Georgie, come here. Say hi.
Who's that?
It's Mark.
Hi,
Can you
Georgie.
say hi, Bubba?
You right there.
How are you doing?
Who's you?
I'm
Just how are
Mark.
you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Because
Oh,
I can't hear you.
I bet not. So
Your
I'm doing
hands are
great.
cold. Go upstairs, Bubba. Go upstairs. Your hands are. What?
Here. Hey.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's cool. I love that. That is, if we could just keep that, the childlike, wonder of the world, that
Right?
we so much lose that. And that is so cool. So,
Yep, yep. He's my little crazy critter. You know,
I love his energy. I love his vibe. And I've been probably excited about you guys are going to go somewhere.
yeah,
So, and
absolutely.
nice day and everything. So Juan, on that, maybe we should just kind of tie things up. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience today?
Uh, nothing. No, no,
Okay.
nothing.
Well,
Just, you know.
I look forward to talking to you next time in the hot tub at the Y again. We had some. We could have Lucy pot. No, I don't think that'd work well in the hot tub. The equipment might not work so well. But yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
unfortunately, with this house payment, the YMCA was one of the first extra things that we cut.
Hmm.
And
I know what you
just because
mean.
we have to cut as many corners as we can, and which $75 doesn't seem like a lot, but that's every month for the whole family. And it's like, man, we
I hear you.
sometimes we weren't even going, maybe we were going two, three times a week, not
Right.
two, three times a month,
Okay.
and it was just like,
Yeah. Is
do
that
we
really?
really need it?
Yep. I hear you.
Um, so
No, you
unfortunately,
just got to make those tough choices. And
yeah,
that's
we gotta make those tough choices. So like we're museum members. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit if you got some time.
sure.
Uh, the Hastings Museum
It's
is a
cool.
really nice one for
It
sure.
is.
With their membership, they have like the ATSC program or something like
Okay.
that. And with that, your little card has it on the back, and you can travel to a lot of the museums in the United States
Really, I
for
did not
free.
know that.
Yes, sir. So, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, something like that, almost 2 years ago, we went to Colorado. Love the shirt.
Okay. Cool.
And we went to Denver and we visited the Denver's Nature and Science Museum.
That's a nice
And
museum.
oh yeah, absolutely. So 1 day deal for us, it would have been like about $90 between all of us. And
Wow.
we got to walk in for free just because we were part of that club.
Wow, that's a
We,
good
sh we
perk.
sh Yeah, that was a real good perk. We showed that card and we got to, yeah, so
That's very cool. So all you have to do is be a member of the Hastings Museum, and that's a benefit that. Okay.
yep, yep. It's the ATSC. Yep, the ATSC program.
I
That,
have to check that
you
out
know,
myself.
yeah, so I think for me and the family for the whole year was $75.
Wow.
So that was a one-time deal, and um,
It's really reasonable if you get to go into museums like out that in Colorado.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
that
absolutely.
pay for it
Like
right there and then some. And that's just one museum.
absolutely. So like on the weekends, every once in a while, even if I take my kids just 2 times a year, that makes up for the whole membership right there.
Yep.
Um, so this year, so I've been doing a lot of blackjack playing at the
Uh-huh.
local
Cool.
casino.
Very good.
And so that's what I used to pay for my membership was I won a little
Awesome.
bit off there, and you know, I told my
It's
lady I was going to use some of my winnings to take care of that membership.
she's going to be. I mean, you got a future podcaster right there.
I know it, I know it. So this little guy has longer hair than this sister.
Well, enjoy it. You have hair. You have and I don't have hair, so enjoy it while you can.
I don't have to.
I don't either, as you
That's all
know.
right. That's all right.
But well, I'm gonna have to do a shout out to the museum. I did not know. I mean, that is a really good perk. And just goes to show when you can find ways to get around doing things. When you don't have the funds for something else, there's always ways to get things done. And
Yep, there's always ways to get stuff.
Yep.
So if you're part of a museum, for instance, you can go up to the children's one up in Omaha, or
Okay.
one of the museums up there in Omaha. There's a couple more here in the state, and then of course you can look up So say you're traveling, take a little vacation to a couple states away. Say it's a rainy day, you can look up, hey, what museum is available,
Mhm.
and you could just go there and have some fun for the whole day with the family.
Perfect.
Most of these museums are free. There's a few of them that they'll just give you a decrease of the cost, but for the majority of the museums, they're pretty much free.
That's awesome. Talk about a win-win. That's really, really good. So
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely have to check that out myself. Well, Juan, on that, I better let you guys got things to do. And
Got this
thanks for
crazy
joining
dinner.
me today on the podcast. Thanks for both of you joining me. And I'll be doing a podcast with you in a few years.
All right.
So anyway, well, thank you for both joining me. And
Well, yeah, Beck. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
oh, well, thank
And
you. I enjoyed our conversation. Look forward to maybe doing one in the future or something, follow up.
yeah, maybe we can get some coffee or something, or
Cool. Yeah,
coffee.
we could actually do one. I did one the other day at the Blue Moon. We could do one and have some coffee and just do a follow up
I
podcast there.
hear you.
So
Yeah.
so that sounds good. So I'm going to let you go. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your
I
day,
can
and
hear
we'll be
you.
talking soon. So
All
see you
right.
both
Thank you, Mark.
later.
You have a good day. Have a
You
good day.
too.
Bye.